Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, back for another DVD, Blu-ray and box set collection update. Got a little bit of a pile here, so let's get into it. So the pile doesn't seem to be as mountainous as previous updates, but I'm sure we're going to have some fun going through it. So we're going to kick off with some DVDs here. I got a few cheapy horror ones in. They showed up at local charity shop, thrift store, you might call it in the States. And yeah, I was pretty happy to get these ones. I don't know too much about them, but you know, they were at $1 each and pretty much looked like they were watched. Like they all came from one collection, right? And they were either never watched or watched once. So they were very, very good condition. Not ex-rentals or anything like that. First one we have is Parasitic. Great looking cover there. You Are What It Eats, which is pretty funny. There's the it there on the back, monster looking thing, which is what tempted me. Got big teeth. Not much written here on the back. It's very, very minimal. It will make your skin crawl in the tradition of Species and the Thing. Now, I'm always a bit, you know, in the tradition of. That's usually what an asylum film or like a sci-fi channel film might do, which is, you know me. That's fine, but you just got to set your expectations there. In the tradition of Species and the Thing, a group of friends become trapped inside a trendy Florida nightclub with a parasitic alien creature that hunts its prey. Unable to escape, they fall victim to the ravenous, bloodthirsty beast one at a time. I mean, that's basic plot 101 right there. Like, it doesn't need anything more. There's no like extra paragraphs here about the director of 58 different films and how wonderful. No, it's a hunt and peck slasher with teenagers and a monster. That's it. You know what you're getting. It stars people I have never heard of and is directed by someone called Timothy R. Martin, who also produced it and wrote it. Now, that's either a good thing or a bad thing, but it's also only 78 minutes long. So, look, the pictures on the back suggest it's not a CG shitfest. It might be prosthetic, but we'll find out. Hopefully, it's just a short and sharp little alien monster slasher thing. Parasitic. If you've seen it, let me know. I'm curious. Next one. I kind of thought I had this, but I didn't. And I might have just seen it on the shelves for years and thought I should get that. It never happened. This is Shiver, starring John Jarratt from Wolf Creek, so Australian film. Has the perfect killer met his match? I don't know, possibly. Presumably serial killer. High impact violence, hard R. It's not like your namby-pamby American R rating. You get this R here, that's like an NC-17. A terrifying encounter, a fight for survival. Wendy Alden, Danielle Harris is a name you might know. A young secretary in Portland, lacking in self-confidence, becomes a victim of a savage killer who has claimed the lives of a number of other women. Somehow Wendy finds the resources and courage to fight back and escape. So perhaps not an Australian film, but definitely is starring one. There he is there with his shotgun. Looking very John Jarratt. It's got Casper Van Dien, so of course I'm watching it. I don't know why I have so many Casper films. He's just in everything. He's like, you know, he's just in about 55 sci-fi channel films, and yeah, I've amassed a Casper collection. Directed by Julian Richards, and from 2013. So there you go. Don't know much else about it. Again, another one. If you've seen this, let me know. It does sound like it could be an interesting bit of fun. 92 minutes in POW, a bit shorter. This one is one that I owned in a really bad ex-rental. Never watched it because the disc was really crap. So I was happy to find this one essentially near mint. The case was a bit rubbish, but I swapped it out. This is Slaughter, which has got a reversible cover. I'll show you that in a second. Find a Good Hiding Place, based on true events. Now, I think the American release might have been one of the After Dark films. Here it's just a regular old DVD put out by Sony. Death roams the countryside. The story of Slaughter gets a lot creepier when you take into account the plot is based on a true story. Bollocks. In this indie horror film, a young woman named Faith thinks she has finally found salvation from her abusive partner when she moves into a friend's farmhouse. But soon, men begin appearing, and then disappearing, from the farm's grounds. And it appears the violence has followed Faith to the country. Gotta have faith. Actually, it says here After Dark Films presents, so there you go. And directed by Stuart Hopewell, 2008. And another short and sharp 91 minutes. So, yeah, Hopefully I get to actually watch it this time. I much prefer that cover. This is the one that was on the outside, which actually kind of looks a bit like that Shiver cover because of the colouring. But I thought that was a bit average, just, meh. A little bit more interesting. Just a little bit. And, they don't reverse DVD covers anymore. This is the kind of thing we did 10 years ago locally when we gave a shit, but we don't really now. So, Slaughter. Let's see what this one's like. If you've seen it, let me know. This one out on Accent, and I've always liked collecting Accent films, but I never saw this one floating around. Apparently it's the next contemporary horror classic, says Fangoria. Some Kind of Hate. Don't know much about this one. Directed by Adam Egypt Mortimer. Relentless bullying has turned Lincoln's life into a nightmare, but he soon learns the true meaning of terror when he is sent to a remote school for troubled teens. We're doing the troubled teens again, and the harassments start all over again. Only this time, someone is watching a teenage girl named Moira, who was driven to suicide by vicious bullying years ago. When Lincoln accidentally summons Moira from the grave, he unleashes a vengeful and unstoppable force on a mission of blood-soaked revenge. Aha! That sounds like, Der Golem or something. Cool. I'm there for resurrecting demons or bodies from the grave and making them go on supernatural slashing. That's good with me. And another short and sharp 82 minutes from 2015, directed by Adam Egypt Mortimer, as I said. So there you go. Some Kind of Hate. It sounds pretty good. All of these sound pretty good. So we'll get into those. And this was the last one I picked up. I think this might have been a slightly bigger film. I could be wrong. It's called Primal Doubt. Very much a 2010 style DVD cover there, absolutely, with Janine Turner and Costas Mandalore. He shows up a bit. Neglected wife Jean Harper is looking for an innocent diversion when she signs onto a matchmaking website. Engaging in some heated correspondence with a handsome widower, Jean reluctantly agrees to meet him. Their rendezvous turns deadly when she discovers him murdered in his home. Authorities find the incriminating emails and Jean becomes their number one suspect. Plunged into a real-life nightmare, Jean is left wondering who's framing whom and why. Well, there you go. So that's, probably horror thriller kind of thing. It does look a little bit grisly there on the back, but that's probably just the cover up. 2007 film out on RHI, directed by Yelena Lanksaya, I think is what that says. Yelena Lanksaya. There you go. In another short, sharp 82 minutes. I'm loving these short films. I can burn through them, so that's good. If you've seen Primal Doubt, let me know. So they're the horror ones I picked up. These next three ones are all imports, but they weren't exactly cheap. And that's the next two were not exactly cheap. That's just because it's the German DVDs, and you got to go through fun and games to get them sometimes. But I wanted them. Tiger Shark, or as written here by the Germans, Commando Tiger Shark. Mike Stone, John Quaid, and Roland Dantes, with the proper Tiger Shark cover, which was the same as the Palace VHS we had out here. I always liked this one. This is one of the first kind of the Philippine shot action films I ever saw, and it stuck with me. And the Australian tape is very rare. Prices fluctuate. My copy I've let go because I now have the Japanese VHS. But I don't need that one now because I got German DVD. And no, like most German DVDs, not going to win any awards, but it's a stable 4:3 picture and it is an improvement over VHS. It's what you get for most of these things. They've gone to the Beta Cam Master or the SP Master or something like that was made back in the 90s, and they just run off DVDs from it. So you're getting the master tape used to make VHS, but not going through that extra level of lowering of resolution. So it's decent enough picture. It's got nothing but just English audio, German audio, and that's it. But I can't read from the back, it's all in German. But yeah, this is a good fun one. Always enjoyed Tiger Shark. So these ones, this one actually doesn't say who it come out on, which is unusual. Even though most of the labels are much of a muchness, which might actually, I don't know, the label code on here has got starts with MBF, but I don't know who they are. Yeah, no, there's nothing here. There's a copyrights on the back for Dolby, but I don't know who the hell put this one out, which might mean it's not exactly authorized, but whatever. You got to do what you got to do, and the Germans keep putting out these DVDs of forgotten 80s films that One day we might see like Severin do a nice Blu-ray of. It's happening. We've been saying it. This is where your strike commandos were coming from, and now we have them on German DVD and then Blu-rays. But here we are, Tiger Shark. Very cool. Next one, Ninja Warriors. If you've seen my Teddy Page documentary, you've seen this one. This is a good fun one. We've got Ron Marchini. Here he is there on the front. Quite an early, I think this is sort of like his 5th film or so, Teddy Page. Right about there. And it's got Ron Marchini running around doing a Rambo kind of thing, but also doing a ninja thing. And there's, Ninja Warriors trying out to get him. It's a bit of a who's who of Philippine action in times. Ron Marchini, Ron Christoph, Ken Watanabe, Nick Nicholson, Mike Monty. They're all in this, so it's a good one. It's proper Silver Star films from Teddy Page. Again, quality, whatever, and I have the Japanese tape and I can tell you it's better than that. So that's it. That's all you need to know. It's in English, has some German, whatever, and a Wende cover, which is just the ratings logo flipped over. So there you go. Ninja Warriors. It's nice to get these Teddy Page ones on DVD, even if they're not so luxurious. This is another one from True Grit Films, which is from Cargo Records in Germany. So there you go. And the last one, which is a 4-pack. I was eyeing this off for a while. 4 films I am curious about. One of them is a Sirio Santiago production. The 4 science fiction collection. We get the Philadelphia Experiment. I think that's John Carpenter's Philadelphia Experiment. I don't know which year that one is. Does it actually say? It has 1984 in there, but anyway, that's I think when they actually get to it. Precious Find, which is a VHS replacement for me. Robo Warriors, produced by Sirio, and Oblivion with Meg Foster. So there you go, and Isaac Hayes, good fun. Rutger Hauer's in Precious Find. But yeah, Robo Warriors, that one was sort of the reason I wanted to get this. And the reason this set is good is because they're all 4 separate discs, right? It does that annoying thing where they stack them like a TV series, but it's nice to have 4 separate discs. Can't read you anything from the back because it's a Netherlands release. You get this one quite cheap. Still getting them new from Rare Waves for like 30 Australian, so like 20 US. 4 separate discs. I've checked them out. I mean, I think they're all full screen, but the prints are fine. They're all in English. I'm happy to have it. The 4 science fiction collection with Philadelphia Experiment, Precious Find, Robo Warriors, and Oblivion. Moving swiftly along into our Blu-rays here. I've got a nice nice mix of action and mainly action and a couple of horror. But anyway, this one, I was a little surprised that Synapse put this one out. It felt way more like a Kino. Don't know what happened, but anyway, McBain! Christopher Walken. This one I've been wanting to see for years and it's never happened. Never seen the DVD. It's just, I've never seen it. But I've always been really curious about seeing this one. It is a Glickenhaus film, so it's going to be pretty good. I think you kind of guaranteed that. Superior Glickenhaus Entertainment presents a Boyce Harem production of James Glickenhaus, McBain. Read from the back here. When prisoner of war Robert McBain, Christopher Walken, is rescued in the jungles of North Vietnam by a group of rangers, he expressed his thanks and gratitude. The leader of the rangers, Santos, that's Chick Venera, takes out a $100 bill, tears it in half, gives half to McBain and says, "If the other half of this bill finds you, you can pay me back." It's a line. 18 years later, Santos is killed in Colombia when leading a fight against drug lords and corrupt politicians. His sister, Christina, that's Mario Conchita from Predator 2, and the Running Man, she always good when she shows up, goes to New York with the other half of the bill and seeks out McBain to enlist his help in overthrowing the Colombian regime. With the surviving ex-Rangers from the Vietnam rescue, including Michael Ironside, Total Recall, and Steve James, McBain travels back to Colombia to break the power of drug lords and avenge Santos' death. So that's a plot we've seen many times. I mean, Strike Commando 2 is sort of one that comes to mind. Like the president's daughter hires the mercenary. Like, it's that kind of plot. Directed by genre favourite James Glickenhaus. Exterminator, Shakedown, Slaughter of the Innocents. I mean, bangers. McBain delivers a macho action fantasy. Spectacular mayhem that action audiences expect. Damn straight we do. You get a new 5.1 soundtrack, but you also get the original theatrical stereo mix. Thank you for that. Audio commentary with James Glickenhaus and film historian Chris Poggiali. With Chris, original theatrical trailer, newly translated and removable subtitles, blah blah blah. So yeah, nice little release. I'm just surprised it's come out from Synapse. I didn't see anything like any notification. I just saw that it was out. I'm like, oh, okay, McBain, Synapse. Yeah, it feels more like a Kino kind of thing. We get a Synapse Films little booklet, which got Tombs of the Blind Dead on the cover there. And yeah, you know, all their releases, their steelbooks, and they've still got their old DVDs in here and their old Blu-rays. And ooh, I hit the rude section. Better close there. But anyway, no reversible cover, which is a shame. I mean, this cover's fine, but I would have liked a more theatrical poster kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. McBain. Keen to check that one out for sure. Next one. Oh my god, this was way more difficult than it needed to be. I ordered this with a mate from Dark Force directly, and that was 5 months ago at this point. It shipped, it bounced back to Dark Force, they can't find it, they haven't shipped a new one. It's just ongoing dramas. I don't know what's going on with that. But a copy showed up locally, brand new, from an Australian seller, and it was priced alright, so I figured, oh look, I'll just buy that, and if the other one ever shows up, I'll sell it or whatever, get a refund. But yeah, wouldn't have expected this to show up locally, so I just jumped on it. We have David Heavener in Kill Crazy. Great stuff. Another VHS for the bin. The VHS for this one was barely hanging on. It was rough. I don't think it really played, the one I had. When a man at war becomes a machine of revenge. Good stuff. There's the back. Lots of explosions and Rambo bandanas. Dark Force presents Yada Yada 1989 direct-to-video violent action entry, written, directed, and starring David Heavener, as he did with most of his films, which the truck that just went past, which Comeuppance Reviews, great site, go check out Comeuppance Reviews, calls one of the best Heavener films we've seen to date. The story revolves around 5 Vietnam vets that become the hunted by an army of killers playing a war game. That is until one of the vets, Alexander Grady Puckett, David Heavener, turns into a budget Rambo killing machine. I actually wrote that, a budget Rambo. I mean, that's pretty much it. To add to the film's allure, the cast features 2 former sweat hogs, Washington and Epstein from the Welcome Back Kotter show, and voiceover legend Gary Owens is a very brief role. Also, Danielle Brisebois from All in the Family, I don't know, is topless in the water. I love that. It gets its own sentence. Look, she's topless in the water. That is a feature of the film. The all-star cast is rounded out by Rochelle Carson from Cobra Kai, Bruce Glover from Walking Tall, and Burt Ward of Batman fame. First time in high def, first time in anything from the original OCN. So this is the kind of thing I really like seeing. There's no DVD of this, or if there is, it's some grey market knockoff VHS job. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a VHS to Blu-ray direct upgrade. Very, very nice. VHS gone in the bin. And yeah, 1989 this came out, so it's a great time for these things. Was there anything else on here? Oh yeah, brand new 2K scan, as it says, from the uncut 35mm with extensive color correction. A new 2023 interview with writer, director, and star David Heavener. So that's nice they tracked him down. I will definitely check that one out. And there you go, that's Kill Crazy. Our VHS had basically that as the box cover. So happy to get this one, David Heavener and Kill Crazy. Let's get more of this kind of stuff, these B-action films, you know, your Frank Stallones. Let's get some of that stuff on Blu-ray. Next up, this was quite interesting. I got this one from Local Mob Dead End DVD, who is a Melbourne-based DVD store, online store, and they import a lot of stuff, have a lot of relationships with a lot of the international companies, which is very good for people in Australia like me, particularly with the ones that are difficult to buy from directly. And they was having a bit of a sale of things that hadn't sold very well. And this one, surprisingly, I was interested in for a while, but I guess, I don't know, it was a slow seller, so I got it for a good price. Minefield with Mike and Michael Ironside. This one is not a Vinegar Syndrome, but one of their partner ones from TVA Films. Anyway, there's the cover there. I think our VHS might have been that. I had a VHS of this way back. I think it's TVA Films. Yeah, this was interesting. It was kind of a psychological sort of thriller. It's a bit science fiction. It's a bit actiony. It's kind of like a dad thriller with more sci-fi, I suppose. That's what you get with this one. In the long shadow of an experimental CIA mind control program, Sergeant Kellen O'Reilly, Michael Ironside, who is actually legitimately the star of this film, he's in pretty much every scene, begins experiencing violent flashbacks of his treatments, quote unquote, at the hands of sinister Dr. Sartorius, that's Christopher Plummer, when the body count on the latest case inexplicably begins pointing to his own fragmented past. A romance with Sartorius's criminal prosecutor, class of 1984's Lisa Langlois? How are you supposed to say someone's surname that ends in Lois? Langlois? Langlos? I don't know. Raises the stakes. Now O'Reilly must forge a path forward through a Hall of Mirrors conspiracy stretching from the Mafia to the highest levels of the CIA, culminating in a shocking and stadium-sized confrontation. And it really did too. Big stadium finale. So this is good. I quite enjoyed it. It was... it's one of those like weird Canadian films. It got the financing and I don't know, it probably didn't quite know what to do. Actually, it says here, I'll read this a little bit here. Minefield was eventually brought to the screen by Canexploitation master Jean-Claude Lord, The Vindicator, great film. The result is a uniquely ambitious experiment. It's a good way of putting it in genre filmmaking that's part explosive action, part MK Ultra inspired conspiracy thriller, and part sleazy underworld crime saga. So yeah, this is good. Enjoyed, and recommend. Particularly, I got it nice and cheap, and it has that really nice slipcover. It's got the they call it like spot gloss. Check it out. Minefield with Michael Ironside, Christopher Plummer, and Lisa Langlois, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong. A couple of keynotes here. One I've wanted to see for years. It's never happened. It's one of those ones I've only ever seen the cover. And I'm pretty sure it was a DVD. It might have been like a Warner Archive. I don't know, but I've never seen it. Number one with a bullet. Robert Carradine, Billy Dee Williams. What a lineup. Surely this is good. Surely it's good. Kino. Nice slipcase. Brand new release. Brand new master from around 2K scan of 35mm into positive. Billy Dee Williams is Hazeltine. Hazeltine! That's an amazing name. A smooth and sophisticated narcotics detective. Robert Carradine is Barzak. Hazeltine and Barzak. They should have called it that. If this was called Hazeltine and Barzak, I would have watched it 10 years ago. Hazeltine's hot-tempered and not so suave partner. Their humour hits as hard as fast as their fists. Never miss in the lawless world of killer drugs. Suddenly, Hazeltine and Barzak are stopped cold. When a key witness escapes while in their custody, the partner is sentenced to the unthinkable. Desk jobs. Ah, dear. If they're going to go from killer drugs to desk jobs, that means we're going to get a chewing out scene from the boss, from the Sarge. Like, oh, damn, Sarge, don't chew us out. No, you guys are on the desk job. That's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to it. Hazeltine and Barzak decide it's time to take the law into their own hands. The LA manhunt takes them from dark alleys and seedy nightclubs to luxurious mansions filled with every imaginable pleasure. This is just ticking all the boxes. When they discover their most deadly enemy may be another cop, they better find out who, and fast. Number one with a bullet is an edge-of-your-seat adventure for fans of action, suspense, and comedy. From director Jack Smite, co-writer James Belushi. Holy shit, that's awesome. That means they actually put it there. Co-writer James Belushi from Red Heat. This is going to be great. And this is the best bit. I haven't told you. It's a canon film. Legendary production team Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus. Co-stars Valerie Bertolini from Chomps and Peter Graves, TV's Mission Impossible. And Doris Roberts from The Taking of Pelham 123, the original one. So this is going to be great. Surely it's canon. It's 1987. I've never seen it. Not too much else in there. Audio commentary, theatrical trailer. Number one with a bullet. And the next Kino I got, which is another new release, and I don't know if this applies to all Amazons, but definitely Amazon Australia. Kinos, particularly Arrows from the UK, there's often very soon after their release date a buy two get 8% off, buy two get 11% off. Quite arbitrary numbers, but you can mix and match and get the prices down, which I'm very happy about because the Australian dollar to US dollar is terrible right now. So yeah, I got the number one with a bullet and this one for a little bit off. So that was good. Juggernaut. I really need to get more sort of big disaster films, big disaster thrillers, that kind of thing from like 70s and that kind of thing. I need to get more of them, and this cover, just look at that gorgeous cover. Like, I had to get this as soon as I saw it. Richard Harris and Omar Sharif, 1974. I mean, I just need to see more of these films, these big disaster films. You know, anyway, the greatest sea adventure in history has just begun. The high seas have never been more terrifying than this riveting, tension-packed adventure, directed by the great Richard Lester. Screen legends Richard Harris from The Long and the Short and the Tall and the Wild Geese, and Omar Sharif from Dr. Zhivago. Head and all-star cast includes the extraordinary Anthony Hopkins, quite young, I suppose, from Silence of the Lambs, obviously. David Hemmings, Crossed Swords, and Shirley Knight from The Rain People, and Ian Holm from Alien. Edge of your seat shipboard thriller. HMS Britannic is caught in a storm at sea. The real terror is on board. 7 bombs planted by a terrorist calling himself Juggernaut, who demands a high ransom in exchange for passengers' lives. Bomb export Fallon, that's Harris, is flown to this ship, and as negotiations break down, he struggles with the most challenging job of his life as a race against time. Also featuring Clifton James and Roy Kinnear. That is going to be good. This is going to be good. Audio commentary from Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson, film historians, and theatrical trailer and TV spot. So yeah, this is a MGM film from '74, directed by Richard Lester. I haven't seen it, and like I said, I need to see more of these kinds of films. I think they're kind of thing that's missing from my collection. You know, I've seen a lot of the staple ones. Well, not a lot. I've seen a few of the staples. You know, Towering Inferno, that kind of thing. But I needed to see more. And although it does seem to be sort of 2 plots at one, you know, like we got the disaster is the ship at sea, but we have a terrorist bombing on board. That's a great mix there. So Juggernaut, keen to check that one out. The next two, these ones I got from Amazon, and I got them reasonable price as well. Turns out my workplace, without going into too many details, we have like a credit system, like an awards thing. You know, you can throw, you know, sort of thumbs up kind of awards to people, and when you accumulate them, you can cash them in for gift cards and things. Turns out Amazon is on them, and I had enough over the 4 or so years I've been at my place to get a small order in, and I did. I didn't realize, otherwise I would have done this a while ago. But I picked up the second sight releases of May and Frontiers. Now we'll talk about May first. Great film. Lucky McGee, seen this one years ago. And it's one of those ones I've been waiting to upgrade the DVD for a long time. I love the character of May. She's so good. The actress is great. A socially awkward veterinary assistant with a lazy eye and an obsession with perfection descends into depravity after developing a crush on a boy with perfect hands, and just essentially starts making her own perfect match. I don't want to give too much away if you've not seen it, but I love it. I haven't checked out the transfer on this one. I'm a bit how you're going with the reimagined covers, and you can't flip them. Now, I did get the cheap versions. You can get the fancy box versions with the whatever art cards and extra things. I don't care. Maybe I could flip the cover in those ones, but you can't here. Very basic. Nice black case though, sort of dark grey, translucent black case. You get audio commentaries, many audio commentaries. You get interviews. You get more interviews. And more interviews, and more interviews, and more interviews, and bloody hell, there's a lot of interviews in here. Bits and pieces on the set of May. Now that's something I want to see. How it was all done. That's the stuff I'm more interested in, rather than interviews. But there you go. So, yeah, finally got this one. Lucky McGee, and what is her name? Angela Bettis. That's May. So, yeah, I love this one. I really do. I'm very, very happy to have this on Blu-ray. Haven't checked the quality out, and the reason I mention that is because I did check the quality out on this one after seeing some not so great reports. Frontiers, part of that new wave of French extreme horror, sort of kicked off in like 2009 or whatever. I really dig this one. It's kind of a French extreme version of essentially Texas Chainsaw. That's really what it is. The quality on this one is some kind of upscale. Not too sure what it's upscaled from, but could have been better. Yeah, I don't know. Not too sure what's going on here. They've not talked about it. It's a proper Blu-ray, but the source material is, surely there was better prints or negatives or something they could have used than what they have here. It is, it's pretty rough. But anyway, look, the film itself always looked rough. So if you're in the camp of I have never owned this film before, that's fine. Pick it up. If you have the DVD and you don't care about special features or have to have everything on Blu-ray, wouldn't actually say you have to jump out and get this. It looks a tiny bit better because Blu-ray compression is better than DVD, but otherwise, yeah, it's surprising from second sight. So if you go check out the Blu-ray forums, you'll see people going, what the hell about this? Because I guess when you see that it is a 1080p video, you expect 1080p, but yeah, it's upscaled from something, maybe 720, maybe even the DVD master, I don't know, but it adds to the gritty look, and it's very nasty film, but yeah, could have been better. After a daring robbery goes wrong, the would-be criminals flee to the countryside to lay low. Deep in the rural heart of France, the group encounter a clan of crazed Nazi cannibals who are attempting to create a new master race. Yes. Audio commentaries. Reinventing the Extreme, a new interview with director Xavier Jens. More interviews. Making of Frontiers. That should be interesting. Short film photographic. That's going to be interesting. Deleted scenes. High school trailers from Xavier Jens. So there's some good extras in here. Frontiers trailers, storyboard comparisons, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, look, I can't give it all my 100% thumbs up because it's a bit like buying one of those Krekel German Blu-rays, If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. It's a bit like that when you put it in there. You're like, oh, could have been better. But whatever, it is what it is. Maybe we'll get a better version one day. I'm a little disappointed second sight have not. It doesn't even start with the film like, these are the best elements we could get. There's none of that. So anyway, Frontiers. Also, coincidentally, in the same basket is the Italian Blu-ray of Fatal Frames, which is basically the same kind of thing as that. It's like, well, if you own the DVD, no real need to get this. It's a little bit more colourful, a little bit sharper, and the compression's better, but this is an upscale. By God, this is an upscale. I can't read you the back of the Soul in Italian, but this is a very late sort of giallo. It's like from 1990 or something. 1997, actually. There you go, 1997. Quite late. It's in Italian, English, and has Italian and English and French subtitles. It's full widescreen, 185:1. It's in HD, but yeah, it ain't. It really isn't. I got it for a good price though. This was another one that was on local eBay. Clearly somebody had bought it, watched it, went, well, that didn't look great, and then selling it maybe at a loss, because these Italian ones are difficult to buy. Yeah, a bit marked up. Like they cost €1, then you got to buy the Euro shipping. And anyway, I found it locally for the price of a regular Blu-ray. So it's fine. I never had the DVD. I'm happy with this. But if you own the DVD and you like the film, no need to run out for this. Wait for, Severin or Vinegar Syndrome or something to do it. Because this is a lazy job. Can't refund back because it's all in Italian, but yeah, this is from Al Festa is the director of this one, Fatal Frames. Haven't actually seen it before. It's been like one of those ones in the back end of a lot of my giallo books, and I've been curious about it. Donald Pleasance is in it, so that's always good. And I got from the same seller cheap, because I didn't really want to pay the full asking price for this because it's a 3-disc set with a 4K that I can't play because I only play Blu-rays. But I wanted the upgrade of the film. That's Night Screams, which is a fun little slasher from, when is this actually? 87 slasher. And as I said, yeah, it's got a UHD and a Blu-ray and a second Blu-ray. And the DVD for this was an old full screen disc snapper case thing from Image. So I was happy to get the upgrade here. I just don't need the 4K bit. Nice reverse cover there, Night Screams. That's one of the old artworks. And yeah, read a little bit here. High school football star David has won a 4-year scholarship to the University of Oklahoma, With his parents away for the night, he's planning to mark the occasion with a party for his buddies and girlfriend, but the evening's festivities get underway at a local nightclub. 2 violent fugitives take refuge in the basement of David's home. When the action moves over to David's place, it quickly becomes clear that someone is intent on spoiling the celebration, as one by one, revelers get picked off and butchered in various gruesome ways. Are the stowaway crooks responsible for the carnage, or is this the work of someone even more unhinged? So, good old slasher. Some nice photos there on the back down the bottom. And as I said, Vinegar Syndrome, full of features. 4K disc has got the 85-minute theatrical cut, presented in all the usual 4K-ness. The Blu-ray disc 1 contains everything on the UHD disc, which has got commentary tracks and things like that. Plus, following special features: Blood and Chopsticks, Echoes of Night Screams, an 80-minute featurette. A brand new making-of documentary featuring interviews with its cast and crew. Original trailer, Blu-ray disc 2, so it's 3 discs, contains the reconstruction, the 80-minute pre-release cut of Night Screams. So that's very interesting. Along with an introduction by executive producer Richard Caliendo and producer co-writer Dillis L. Hart II. So yeah, that's why you picked this one up, at least for me. So there's your UHD, and you get 2 blues. So yeah, it looks a bit overboard. I would personally, and I know I'm in the minority, I would prefer these things be just cut down to 1 Blu-ray or the 2 Blu-rays. I don't need the 4K. I don't need it. I'm paying an extra $15 for it or whatever. So when these things show up, like new condition locally for a cheaper price than what I could get from Vinegar Syndrome, that's how I justify it. Happy with that. And the last one in the I don't need 4K, but my God, I can't believe they did this in 4K. I cannot believe they did this in 4K. Undefeatable. Cynthia Rothrock, Godfrey Ho collaboration. This has been the mainstay for me of so many bad movie nights. For those, the final 10-minute fight is just pure gold. But the whole thing is unhinged. This is one of Godfrey's best, and it's not like it's Cynthia's best, but it's one of her most fun. There's the other art, so the whole thing, reversible, ridiculous. Christy Jones, Cynthia Rothrock, is a street tough member of the martial arts gang known as the Red Dragons. In an attempt to go straight and leave the gang behind, Christy participates in mafia-run back alley street fights in an attempt to win enough money to put her sister through college, the old story. Meanwhile, a sadistic fighter known as Stingray becomes increasingly violent while taking part in unsanctioned fights to the death. When Stingray's wife leaves him due to increasingly aggressive behaviour, Stingray loses his grip on reality, begins that'd be pretty funny. Begins raping, murdering, and removing the eyes of women, only lost the slip, that resembles his wife. When Stingray turns his murderous rage on Christy's sister, Christy has no choice but to reluctantly team up with Nick, a martial arts trained detective, in an attempt to stop Stingray's rampage before more women turn up dead. It's an outrageous film. It has no right to be on the UHD, but here we are. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. Directed by notorious Hong Kong filmmaker Godfrey Ho, under his many pseudonyms, Undefeatable has obtained true cult status, thanks in part to its now infamous final fight, and that's very true. You just go search for Undefeatable fight on YouTube, and you'll see like a 15-year-old clip, which is how I found out about the film and how about the entire world found out about the entire film, who didn't see when it first dropped anyway. Starring the always badass Cynthia Rothrock in one of her most memorable roles, as well as an impressive martial arts performance by John Miller from Honor and Glory. That's a fun PM film from memory, featuring an eye-popping performance by Don Niam in one of his few acting roles. Eye-popping. So yeah, on the back here we've got the 4K UHD disc containing the 95-minute feature presentation of Undefeatable in all the 4K-ness. From the original camera negatives. I don't know how they find these things sometimes. With original English mono soundtrack and a brand new commentary track with Cynthia. So that itself is going to be fun. Now, when I saw Cynthia back in the start of this year for Yes Madam screening in Sydney, and she came out, did a Q&A, somebody did ask her about this film and just the general Godfrey Ho-ness. And she has a lot of love for Godfrey, but also wagged her finger when she found out that she had appeared in other films that Godfrey made, but she never actually filmed them. He just insert the footage just like he liked to do with his cut and paste films, and she said, "Oh, Godfrey," and it was funny. And we get the Blu-ray discs. Again, Blu-ray disc 1 contains everything the UHD, plus the following special features. Godfrey Ho discusses Undefeatable. 15 minutes. Brand new interview with producer-director Godfrey Ho. It's a cartoon with people is the name of this featurette. 18 minutes. Brand new interview with cinematographer Phil Cook. Street Fighter. 12-minute brand new interview with Cynthia Rothrock. They Call Him Stingray. 25 minutes. Brand new interview with actor Don Niem. That'll be outrageous. A Mind for Action, 16 minutes, a brand new interview with actress assistant director Donna Jason. Cynthia Rothrock, A Legendary Life, 14-minute video essay by film historians Sam Dean and Charles Perks. Undefeatable versus Bloody Mary Killer, video essay comparing the two versions by filmmakers Chris O'Neill. Original trailers for Undefeatable and Bloody Mary Killer, which brings us on to the third disc, which is the really exciting thing because I've never seen this version. Blu-ray disc 2 contains the wildly different 88-minute Bloody Mary Killer cut. Now, this is the one, if you were going to buy Undefeatable on an original Hong Kong DVD, you were going to get Bloody Mary Killer, and I seem to remember them going for silly money. So it never happened, but it's cut with the following, very different cut with the following sound options: original Cantonese mono with newly translated English subtitles, Mandarin language dub, and a brand new commentary track with filmmaker and film historian Brandon Bentley. So there you go. That's why you get this one, to get both cuts of the film. Got a nice little booklet in here. If I can get it out. There's Cynthia, Undefeatable Outsiders, some essays, good photos. There's the Bloody Mary Killer Hong Kong poster. Very cool. And I've always wanted to see what that one's like and see how different it is. And yeah, you get the UHD and the two blues. So what a world we live in. It is the golden age. The golden age. Undefeatable, nearly dropped it again, on UHD and double Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. Outrageous. Okay, we've got a couple of pretty big deal box sets now to go through. The first one is my first title, my first release in the collection from Radiance Films, which was the new label from one of the main guys behind Arrow. He left, made his own label called Radiance, and this one I got a bit confused about when it was coming out because I swear I'd seen this being promoted for like a year, but it only just came out, so it just had a long lead time perhaps. But anyway, Cosa Nostra, the Franco Nero in 3 Mafia Tales by Damiano Damiani. There you go. That's the full title of this one. And is Radiance numbers 14, 15, and 16 if you're playing the spine number game, which I am not. But it is a lovely hardcover box. So yeah, really enjoying these Radiance releases. Let's take a look at what we get in this one. So let's firstly look at the actual films. That would be useful, wouldn't it? 3 films. How to Kill a Judge. And I got to say, I love that they used the proper posters here. Very, very nice. How to Kill a Judge with Franco Nero and Francois Fabian. The Case is Closed, Forget It. Great eurocrime title there. With Franco and Riccardo Cucciola. There you go. And Day of the Owl with Claudia Cardinal, Franco, and Lee J. Cobb. Love a bit of Lee J. Cobb. So there you go. They're the 3 films. And you get nice reverse Italian posters on this one. They are not films I am familiar with, but it's Franco Nero. It's in the classic Eurocrime period. Italian films. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to get them and watch them. Yeah, I mean, let's just go into these presentations. So they go the full Criterion, basically, like the nice reverse cover with the text on the inside here. So there you go, Mafia, one of the titles of the film. So you can flip that, call it Mafia if you want, or Day of the Owl. I don't know too much about the film, so I can't say too much about it. There's The Case is Closed, Forget It, which is a great title. Reverse cover there, Italian poster. And the back, get another Italian poster. Very nice. And How to Kill a Judge. Inside. There we go. Again, great presentation with the Italian poster there. And another one there on the back. So presentation wise, these things are outrageously good. Comes with a full book, not a booklet, but an actual book. It's like 120 pages or so of material. just is putting other labels to shame. I mean, let's go into some of these things here. They've got the alternate title sequences of the films in print. That's attention. That's before the table of contents. The table of contents, you've got Day of the Owl cast and crew, Conspiracy of Silence, Leonardo Sicilia's The Day of the Owl, The Case is Closed, Forget It cast and crew, Motion to Reinstate, The Case is Closed, Forget It, How to Kill a Judge cast and crew, The Snail's Horns, Depiction of a Mafia in the Day of the Owl, The Case is Closed, Forget It, and How to Kill a Judge. There's some essays here. Scoring the Cosa Nostra by Shelley O'Brien, Interview with Damiano Damiani by Nicoletto Zalafi, Franco Nero, A Sense of Force by Nathaniel Thompson. Oh, these names today. Cinema Politico, The Damiani Case by Marco Natoli. Critical Overview by Cullen Gallagher, and some transfer notes and credits. So, yeah, packed to the brim with some great supplementary material to read as you watch, or read after you watch. So that's awesome, and which I packed away nicely. They put these sort of obi strip kind of things around the box, and it just comes off, nicely glued thing. Limited to 3,000 copies. So yeah, it has a UK and a US release. I don't think there's any differences. There is something worth noting, though you probably are aware, if you bought it direct from Radiance, or if you were like one of the very, very, very first people through Diabolic, I think, some of your discs might be a little defective. I'm not too clear on what is wrong, but you can confirm, I think if you got it from Amazon or anywhere else, there's nothing to worry about. But if you look on the writing on the outside of the disc, and you see, where is it? Has to have V2. I'm not going to be able to show it anyway. If it has V2 written on the outside of the disc, which I think it doesn't affect this one actually, I think it affects Day of the Owl, then you're fine. You've got the new version. So anyway, I'm not going to go into what the films are because I don't know anything about them, and they are just, I mean, they're going to be good. It's like that Franco Nero classic period Italian Eurocrime, Euro drama, Euro thriller. It's going to be good. Cosa Nostra, Franco Nero in 3 Mafia Tales by Damiano Damiani. It's going to be great. If you have seen these, you tell me what you thought of them. I really, really enjoyed Mr. Parker's review that he did on this box set, which is what actually got me across the line and reminded me that this thing was coming out. As I said, I'd seen that cover for months and months, and I kind of forgot about it and didn't look enough into what you got in it. And then it dropped, and yeah, he did a nice review of the 3 films, and that was just the add to cart moment. So there you go. Cosa Nostra. Excellent stuff. Now, the next one. I'm going to have to bring out the big guns for this. All right. We'll just get that in shot because we need to keep that one there. For the sensual world of Black Emanuelle. When this was announced, there was no doubt I needed this in my sleaze. My sleazy mitts needed to grasp this one. Severin are number 1, and that's been confirmed for me for a few years. I'm loving getting a syndrome, but Severin, they're number 1 for me, and this is just confirming for me. Absolutely, who would have thought this kind of thing in the dying days of physical media would exist? It's yeah, this is pretty much every Laura Gemser Black Emanuelle film. So it's not the Emanuelle films without Laura Gemser, like Emanuelle and Francois. That's she's not in it, so that's not included. It's not the Emanuelle collection. It is the Black Emanuelle collection with Laura Gemser. I'll read a bit from the back and then we'll take a look inside. She was the pleasure-seeking photojournalist forever embodied by the exquisite Indonesian actress Laura Gemser. Most frequently in collaboration with writer-director Joe D'Amato, classic combination, who would uncover an increasingly lurid world of sex cults, snuff films, cannibal jungles, women's prisons, white slavers, depraved convents, and beyond, to become the premier feminist icon in the genre history. Landmark collection produced by award-winning writer-director Kia La Janice now brings together 21 Black Emanuelle films and 2 adjacent titles starring Eurocult heroine Ajita Wilson and the Joe D'Amato documentary Inferno Rosso, which I'm very, very keen to check out. most newly scanned, restored, and on Blu-ray for the first time in America. The journey continues with 2 soundtrack CDs curated exclusively for this release, encompassing music by Nico Fidienko and more. Lavishingly illustrated 356-page Black Emanuelle Bible, we will get to in a minute, designed by Luke Insect, great surname, and featuring new writings by noted film scholars and historians, as well as Laura Gems's in-depth 1996 Nocturno magazine interview. 40 hours of special features that include alternate versions, audio commentaries, video essays, a documentary by Gems's husband, co-star Gabrielle Tinti, the 80s Gemsa workout video, looking good, and much more. Outrageous. Let's take a look. Firstly, at the novelty feature, which was ridiculous. Now, I'll bring it up close here. She's a photographer, so they have photos here, and as you can see, there's a wonderful horse, which is giving away some disgustingness, but you can turn the little dial and get some very rude photos I probably shouldn't be showing, so we might just leave it there halfway between. But yeah, it's like a what are those? I forgot the name of those things. The things we had as kids, where you put in the disc and you could flip through the Viewmaster. It's like a Viewmaster. Thank you. Let's take a look inside. Firstly, the book. Oh my god! Now I have to be pretty careful, I think, with what I'm about to show. But yeah, very 70s design, of course. I love the aesthetic. I'm going to take a quick look at some of the things before I show the page, because I don't want to cause dilemmas. There's a dilemma. There goes a nice shot. But yeah, just it's all about the different films. It's about... my god, that's horrible. Yeah, just... Well, there you go, Salon Kitty. So things that are tangentially related. There's interviews in here. Some great photos. Can just about show that one I posted there. I don't want to give I could spend the rest of the video just talking about this, but and then you have all the information on the films in here, so you can read about the discs, the presentations as well. Ridiculous, lovely book. Actually has its own price on here. Apparently you can buy this separately for $30. It has its own barcode. I didn't realize that. You can just go and buy the book, the Black Emanuelle Bible. That's lovely. You can go and do that. Fantastic. So, next is the films. Now, I can't show the front. I can just about do that. They've done it in that, and it's not my favorite. I would have preferred individual cases. Let's be real. They've done it in that slip cover thing where they have it in the cardboard. Blu-rays are a bit more... they're able to cope with this a bit more than DVDs. DVDs scratch up pretty easily, but Blu-rays have got a better coating. So they can withstand this. I can show that. But you get all the films. Now let's go through the films. I'm not going to show them all just in case. Disc 1, Black Emanuelle and Black Emanuelle 2. Emanuelle in Bangkok. Emanuelle in America. That's a sleaze fest if I ever saw one. Emanuelle around the world. Emanuelle and the Last Cannibals. So some of these are like... I went through what I had, and I had about 7 of them. Or about 8 of them on DVD and Blu-ray. And I basically sold them all off to finance the box set. I had a mix of 88 films here, and it's earlier Severin here, and some old Severin DVDs from the old Black Emanuelle box. Sold them all, and I paid for the majority of this box set, so that was worth doing. Disc 5, Sister Emanuelle, Emanuelle and the White Slave Trade. A whole bunch here I've never seen. Violence in a Women's Prison, which has had a previous release. Emanuelle in Prison. Black Cobra, not the Black Cobra with Fred Williamson. That's coming from someone else, which is outrageous. Black Velvet. Divine Emanuelle, Fanatico When the Goddess Calls. This is a great time. Emanuelle, Queen of the Desert. I'll show a couple of these because I can show you some of them. Amore Libero, Free Love. Emanuelle, A Woman from a Hot Country. Damn, you hot. Black Deep Throat. Woo! Porno Nights of the World #2. Getting a bit hard to turn them. It is a little like that's the only downside is this cardboard business. Will it hold up to the duration of time and the Kleenex box? But hopefully she'll be right. Disc 3, Inferno Rosso, Joe D'Amato on the Road of Excess. So there's your documentary, and Scandalous Emanuelle. Disc 14, Nico Fidenko's Groove. So this is the soundtracks. Yep, that's soundtrack CD1. And Black Emanuelle, Rarities and B-Sides. And that is another soundtrack, so there you go. that is the set. It is fantastic. It is grubby. It is exactly what you want. Thrilled that they did it. I would highly recommend you pick it up. So you could get it direct. I got it from Diabolic DVD. Sorry, not Diabolic. I got it from Dead End DVD, the local mob I mentioned, who had it for the same price. And I got it local, and I got it only 1 week or so, maybe 10 days at most after the Severin shipment. So yeah, thrilled to get this early and in good condition. That's the good thing about Dead End DVD, is that if he gets crap copies, well, I guess he doesn't sell them. Like he it's not like buying your Bruce Lee box set from Arrow Video. Oof. No. So I like buying from Dead End DVD, support their local business who is going to the effort of importing these things. Amazing. The Sensual World of Black Emanuelle with the Kleenex box. And that is what I'm going to show you today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this DVD Blu-ray box set update. If you did, please like, subscribe, check out this thing. Check out this thing. I'll see you next time.